warm namaste and a very hearty welcome to all of you. From today, I start a series called Tithi. Tithi is the relationship between the sun and the moon. For every 12 degrees that the moon moves away from the sun or towards the sun, it constitutes a Tithi. In a lunar month, there are two sets of Tithis, one starting from Amavasya till the Chaturdashi or the 14th day of the moon and coming on till Purnima. So it starts from Amavasya when the sun and the moon are together. As the moon starts moving away from the sun, for every 12 degrees, it starts constituting tithis of Pratipada, Dvitiya, Tritiya, Chaturthi, Panchami, Shashti, Saptami, Ashtami, Navami, Dashami, Ekadashi, Dwadasi, Trayodashi, Chaturdashi, and finally it comes on till Purnima when the sun and the moon are diagonally opposite each other, 180 degrees away from each other. Again, a journey towards the sun begins for the moon. So it is again starting from Pratipada and then concluding at Amavasya, where it reaches the sun all over again. This continues in an eternal cycle always. Every tithi is ruled by a number of parameters. These parameters, just like those of the nakshatras, define the tithi, identify the person, and as the tithi is a relationship between the sun and the moon, it also defines a relationship quotient of the person with others around him. The tithi is ruled by Venus, which is a watery element. Today we talk about Purnima, and before that I will take you across to a number of elements that define the tithis. Purnima, Tithi and planet. But before that, let us move on to the elements that define a tithi. Taking a moment off, Panchang is ruled by or constitutes of 5 elements: Tithi, Vara, Nakshatra, Yog, and Karn. These all have a strong impact in our lives. They decide our mental, physical, emotional, and professional quotients. Tithi is the one that defines our emotional quotient. It is ruled by the element of water. Vara, or the day of birth, is defined by Vara defines our energy quotient, Nakshatra, our mental makeup, Karna, our professional makeup, and Yoga defines our health and our spiritual makeup. So, the Panchang in itself constitutes the entire person in his or her entirety. Having explained the elements of Panchang, I move on to explain the elements of Tithi. The element of first element, essential element of Tithi is the deity. Every Tithi, starting from Pratipada to Amavasya, Purnima, has a deity that rules it, and like all deities, all supreme powerful beings, they give color to the emotional quotient of the native. The element that is associated with that of Tithi is water, and water is also represented by Venus. So Venus in particular is the planet that governs our emotional quotient and our relationship quotient. For Purnima, the planet is Saturn. Starting from Pratipada to Amavasya, all the 7 planets and Rahu hold sway over one tithi each. For Purnima, the planet happens to be Saturn. There are 5 divisions of the tithis, and Purna is one of them. Purna means full. As we go, we will see more and more about it. If you are interested in it, you can join my course on Panchanga, an intensive course on knowing yourself thoroughly just with the elements of Panchanga. Saturn represents a number of things in our chart. Of them, longevity, bones and teeth, obstruction, disease, sorrow, something which is also about labor, something which is about love, is all part of Saturn. So, this we all know that there are a lot of points that we take as negative in Saturn. So, what is the positive side of Saturn? Saturn denotes generosity, it denotes charity, it denotes time, and it denotes an ability of a person to work really hard. Let us move into this example chart of Duchess of Cambridge. For her, Saturn, the planet that rules her Tithi of Purnima, is right there in the third house. Third house is an Upachaya house. The third house is the house of friends and family. The third house is the house of legality of marriage. The third house is also a tenanting Mars along with it, giving fire and energy to her relationships as well as her initiative to take things up and do them well, especially in regard to her relationships. As we go ahead, we would see that Saturn is the lord of her seventh and eighth house. Seventh house represents the spouse and represents the public life. Seventh house is also all about the standing that you have in society. And eighth house is the conjugal bliss. Eighth house is also the house of the in-laws. So, with her ability to get everybody around her, make them love her because she has been generous in her relationships to extend herself and be the one to take an initiative and do a lot for her relationship. The placement of Saturn in her chart would work greatly for her relationships because it is placed in an Upachaya house and it is placed with an energetic planet. She is the one to take initiatives in her relationships, go out of her way to work towards them and establish them. She would put in the labor of love in all her relationships, be it the professional front as a duty as the Duchess of Cambridge, and she would also do the same for her relationship with her in laws. In fact, her brother in law Harry has gone so far and said on public media that she is the sister he never had. So she has worked very hard on all her relationships, all because Saturn is fairly placed. It's a Uchabhilashi planet, or the planet that is moving towards exaltation and exerting all its beautiful qualities. Placed in an Upacha house, it will see her growing from strength to strength in all her relationships and on the public forum. If you have liked my video and want to know more, continue watching on this series. If you would like to really work on all the elements that make a Tithi tick, that gives you the definition of who you are as an emotional person, please join my course which is coming up on the 4th of November. May the stars be with us, may they guide us, and may they keep us safe till we meet again.